In May, it will be 5 years since George Floyd was murdered by a Minneapolis police officer. A video recorded act so heinous, it sparked one of the largest social justice movements in recent history. But some right-wing extremists, including Ben Shapiro, are proposing something unconscionable: a pardon for Floyd's convicted killer, Derek Chauvin. When this story first popped, I refused to give this any credence, especially since it had all the feel of a right-wing attempt to bait the libs. But I'm paying attention to it now. Shapiro's petition has surpassed 50,000 signatures. The White House press secretary says a Chauvin pardon is, quote, not something President Trump is considering at this time. This is the same man who pardoned January 6th insurrectionists, so color me unconvinced that this stance won't change. The number one reason I'm paying attention to this heinous effort is because of the phone call I received from my next guest. Joining me now is Courtney Ross, the girlfriend of the late George Floyd. Courtney, it is wonderful to see you again. Thank you for coming back to the Sunday Show.
Thank you for having me, Jonathan.
So, Courtney, why does this effort by Ben Shapiro and others concern you so much?
Jonathan, when I heard of this effort beginning, it not only personally affected me and traumatized me, but I saw how immediately all the families that I work with, all the families out there that have lost someone to the police, have been dearly affected by this. And I wanted to make sure that I speak up on behalf of myself and them, so people know that this is unacceptable, it's ridiculous, and we won't stand for it.
When we spoke, you actually shared good news with me in that you're feeling like you're back to yourself, that you have found peace. And as you were telling me about this effort, I wondered, how is this effort, or is this effort eroding at your peace? Or are you finding this effort is giving you fuel and strength for what's coming or could come?
I definitely find that it's giving me strength, that I've taken the past 4.5, almost 5 years now to heal and to get strong on behalf of my Floyd. And since doing that, people like Ben Shapiro don't scare me anymore. They don't put me in a hole. They don't make my voice quiet. I can come out now and say something to him directly and ask him to stop this madness, stop hurting people, stop traumatizing all these families, stop traumatizing the world. Billions of people were traumatized by seeing Floyd murdered by Derek Chauvin. There is no need to continue to hash this out.
If you had the opportunity to talk to President Trump about this effort, what would you say to him?
I would say that I hope he continues his stance on not considering a pardon. I would say that I stand with him on that, which is something I'm surprised to say.
What do you say to the community in the off chance, and I'm going to say off chance because I'm going to be very optimistic here, in the off chance that a pardon does come down? What do you say to the community about how they should respond, how they should react to something if that were to happen?
Well, I would say that I think what they want us to do is to react in violence, and I would urge my community to not respond the way that they want us to stay cool, calm, and collect like we can do, like we know we do in Minneapolis. I would also say that a lot of those protesters that came in during the riots were not from Minneapolis. They were professional protesters, and those are the ones that did so much harm to our city. And I would like us to consider that if anything were to go down, to make sure that we protect Minnesota, that we cut off our borders and not let anybody in because there was so much harm done.
When you took the stand in the Chauvin trial, you came through the screen. Your presence was so big because of your love for George Floyd. It came through the screen. It came through when we met in, what was that, 2022? When we met in that park in Minneapolis for the interview in 2021. What do you remember? This is our last question, and we're already out of time, but I can't have you here and not ask you this. What do you remember most about George Floyd?
Oh, Jonathan, I'm tearing up. I thought I would get through this interview without tearing up, but, you know, Floyd and I, we laughed together. We loved together. Funnily enough, like, that's not even a word, but funny enough, we had a good time eating together a lot. He was a big man, and we always had to feed him and make sure that he had all his favorite foods in him. But I miss just our conversations that we had, and I miss him saying how much he loves me and how much I mean to him.
Courtney Ross, I asked that question because I think it's important to humanize George Floyd, especially when there's an effort to dehumanize him in an effort to try to get a pardon for the man who murdered him. Courtney Ross, thank you very much for coming back to the Sunday Show.